Those lyrics you just heard are from a song the internet called The Most Mysterious Song on the Internet, which the name and band for was finally found last year in 2025 after a 6-year search that began in 2019. I'm not here to talk about that search, however, but about how those lyrics hit me when I first heard them. Those lyrics, for a few years of my life, became my mantra. And when I felt at my most alone back in 2021, I set them as my status on Discord, the silver lining being that I introduced someone else to the search for this song. However, 5 years later, I feel as if my life has come full circle to somewhere I am alone. There is no space, no tomorrow, no sense for communication. As an aromantic, romance repulse, fictosexual trans woman, I'll say it plainly. I'm tired. I am so tired. I am tired of feeling invisible. I am tired of feeling cut out. And I am tired of watching a wave of queer visibility rise, only to realize that the tide has washed away the very spaces where people like me used to breathe. I don't feel a sense of belonging in queer spaces anymore. I don't feel seen. And today, I want to explain why. Part 1. The truth of my attraction. My story doesn't start with a crush. It starts with the realization of what was apparently missing. Even at 13, I had an early love for horror, so I was naturally captivated by Five Nights at Freddy's in 2014. When puberty hit and my peers started obsessing over relationships, I found I never really had what someone would call a crush, and didn't have any physical attraction to boys or girls. When I tried to force myself to look at what I was supposed to be attracted to, searching for sexy girls or looking at boys, I felt nothing. No spark, no pull. But when I stumbled upon fan art of Five Nights at Freddy's, specifically anthropomorphic characters, something clicked. I realized I had a resounding lack of sexual interest in humans or any real things at all. My attraction was sparked by the fictional, the anthropomorphic animal characters. I learned I was fictosexual long before I had the word for it. I was attracted to characters, not people. Eventually, I diversified my search and found out about furry. Not because of the fandom, but because I realized I could find those art pieces I liked by searching furry followed by an animal I liked. By middle school's end, I came out to mom and friends. Armed with immature vocabulary and limited understanding, confusion arose, and there were a complete lack of labels like fictosexual at the time. Later on in high school, there was some bullying from sharing this with the wrong people. Despite this, however, I maintained a relatively normal early high school life just while indulging in anthro-animal fantasies privately. However, later high school only turned up the pressure. The relentless chatter about dating, the drama, the societal expectations that romance is the pinnacle of human existence. It suffocated me. That's when I realized I wasn't just fictosexual, I was aromantic. I didn't just lack attraction to humans, I lacked the desire for romance entirely, even with anthro characters. I realized my discomfort with romantic topics was because I was romance repulsed. I felt like a glitch in the system. The questions were constant. Why no partner? You're attractive. Why not date? I carried a silent burden, weighed down by a world that couldn't imagine a life without sexual and romantic pursuit. My first true coming out in 2019 led to mixed reactions. Some friends and family members supported me, others misunderstood. Later on, however, in 2021, I had a huge depression episode, triggered by unrelated and orientation-related issues, worsened by rigid orientation views. Why question your sexuality? It's obvious. Supportive friends and self-reflection through inspirational media like Dark Harvest helped heal me, ultimately leading to the realization of being a bifictosexual in October 2021, attracted exclusively to anthropomorphic animals of both genders. That's also when I discovered the term digisexual, once tracing back to Akiko Kondo before it became more robot electronic central. It gave me hope for a label that mirrored my lived experience. Part 2. In the early 2020s, we were here. But then, something changed. Around 2021 and 2022, I found my people. From tech communities, to Discord servers, to corners of the furry fandom, I found asexual and aromantic folks. I found allies. It seemed almost easy for me to find asexual and aromantic people out in the wild, without even necessarily looking for them. These are the very people and communities I built my new life around. I had so many fun times and memories, and I was finally able to name experiences I'd had for my entire life. Despite 2022's early struggles, I found a great community of friends who accepted me, and some who even shared my interest in anthropomorphic animals. I also met a genuine furry for once, a welcome respite from all of the hate in the 2018 lol cow era. I finally felt like my life had peaked again after a long, dark 2 years. I felt less stress and pressure from all sides about relationships, sex, and romance. I had people I could share and discuss anthro-animal content with, who also didn't seem interested in discussing dating. Some of them were even on the asexual spectrum themselves. I had spaces where we could talk about ray tracing, graphics cards, camera sensors, and fictional lore for hours without the conversation drifting to, who are you dating? I embarked on my gender transition in 2023. I came out as a trans woman, and for a moment, life was good. I learned terms like bi-fictosexual and digisexual. I found the label fictosexual gaining traction, finally giving a name to my lived experience. I felt like I had landed. I had a home away from home. I had escaped the pressure.
Psych!
Part 3. It ended quietly. Heteronormativity gave way to allonormativity. But then, the ground shifted again. As we moved through 2023 and into 2024, I watched the Aspec people in my life slowly trickle away. Communities fragmented, allies disappeared, and as general queer visibility exploded in media and culture, and hateful laws and governments were in the limelight, something ironic happened. We didn't dismantle the script, we just flipped it. We traded heteronormativity for allonormativity. Heteronormativity tells us that straight is the default. Allonormativity tells us that sexual and romantic attraction is the default. It assumes that everyone feels attraction and that everyone centers their life around it. In this new wave of visibility, I feel we've kept the allonormativity and just painted it in rainbow colors. A friend of mine visualized this perfectly. Imagine two men sitting on opposite sides of a car. One looks out the window and says, "Cute girls." The other looks out and says, "Cute boys." They are looking at different genders, yes, but the script is identical. The focus is identical. The obsession with attraction is identical. It doesn't matter if everyone's bio says taken by someone of the same or the opposite gender. It doesn't matter if the sex scenes and romantic stories are between men or women. It's the same allonormativity, it's the same exhaustion. This is what I see in queer spaces now. It doesn't matter if the relationship is gay, straight, bi, or non-binary. If the conversation is always about relationships, sex, and romance, you are still centering allosexual and alloromantic experiences. You are still leaving me out. This is where I've started to feel no space or representation as an aspec person who is fictosexual and aromantic. As a transgender woman myself, my heart only aches that much more. Every trans woman idol, every ally I've known seems to have sexuality as one of the pillars of their gender identity. For me, it's a side dish, like fries. The main course is my gender identity. Part 4. The most painful part is how now, it feels like there are no queer spaces open to me that represent me as a fictosexual, aromantic, romance-repulsed, transgender woman. I walk into pride festivals and queer spaces now, and I look around and I say, there's nobody here. No one who represents me. This isn't who I am. These people aren't the allies I used to have. I see the furry fandom, which was once an escape, now dominated by real-life relationship drama and queer dating expectations, just replacing hetero pressure with homosexual pressure. However, worse yet, when I voice this exhaustion, too many people in the LGBTQIA+ keep spouting the same hollow platitude. You are not alone. Okay, if I'm not alone, where is everyone? Where did the entire night spent discussing asexuality with fellow allies all vanish to? Where did all of the spaces, not even queer, or on the topic of sexuality that house multiple asexual and aromantic people go? Where are the Aspec trans representatives who talk about the joy of gender, about the baggage of sexuality? If I am not alone, then you better be ready to show me where asexuality and aromanticism fits in current-day queer spaces. Show me the place where I can escape the constant allonormative chatter. Show me the community where I can talk about my favorite fictional characters, ray tracing, graphics cards, phones, and camera sensors, without the elephant in the room being, when are you going to get a partner? I am burnt out. I am burnt out by the assumption that queer must always mean sexual and romantic just differently. I need more than words. I need space. Part 5. What the disability support advocate taught me. I want to end with a lesson I learned 8 years ago from a disability support advocate. He told me about a business partner of his who uses a wheelchair. This man said, he's of the opinion if I have the chance and I have the choice to lose my disabilities and become an able-bodied person, I wouldn't take it. The experience that I've had in my life and my disabilities has informed me in ways that I wouldn't have had I been able-bodied, and that I have a perspective on the world and I have things to share with people. Some of them very simple, like don't make buildings with stairs anymore. We have the technology to not have stairs. I hold on to this. Being fictosexual, aromantic, and romance repulsed has given me a perspective on the world that is valuable. It has taught me about connection that isn't transactional. It has taught me about the beauty of sensual friendship without romantic intent. It has taught me that gender can stand proud, independent of sexual attraction. I have things to share with you, but I can only share them if the space allows me to exist. That advocate ended with this. You know, you've got certain challenges in life that are frustrating, absolutely. But you also have an outlook and an experience in life that a lot of people haven't had. And so a lot of people walk around and are not very sensitive to other people, or to spaces, or rooms, or places, or activities. And that cuts a lot of people out. When spaces are designed a certain way, when activities are designed a certain way, without thought for everyone. It's good for communities to have to figure out how to help each other. I want to live in a world where we know how to do that. It's an opportunity for people to learn how to help each other, so to live in a world where we do that, because that's the only world to live in. Otherwise, I'll sit and wear it by myself and nobody else will help me. Conclusion. The only world to live in. Creating inclusive queer spaces isn't just about adding more letters to the acronym. It's about redesigning the room. It's about asking, are we designing the space only for people who center romance and sex? It's about realizing that when you make every conversation about relationships, you are building stairs in a world where some of us roll. I am asking for a queer community that values the Aspec perspective. I am asking for spaces where escapism actually means escape from allonormativity. I am asking everyone for representation that shows a fictosexual, aromantic trans woman and says, you belong here, exactly as you are, without needing to change your script. We have the technology to build spaces without stairs. We have the capacity to build queer spaces without allonormativity. Let's build that world, because the only world worth living in is one where we truly help each other, see each other, and make space for everyone. Thank you.